The United States, alongside Israel, has launched direct military strikes on three major Iranian nuclear facilities. This marks a dramatic escalation in Middle East tensions, bringing a global superpower into open conflict with Iran. The operation's goal to cripple Iran's nuclear weapons capability. President Trump declared the mission a complete success, while Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu called it vital for regional security. Both leaders have long viewed Iran's nuclear ambitions as an existential threat. Iran has condemned the attacks as an act of war and vowed swift retaliation. Tehran has called for an emergency UN Security Council session, demanding international intervention. Despite the strikes, Iran insists its nuclear program is peaceful. These attacks followed failed diplomatic talks, signaling a shift from negotiation to military action. The US's direct involvement raises the stakes for the entire region. The world now faces a rapidly escalating crisis with unpredictable consequences. The focus has shifted from diplomacy to managing a dangerous new reality. The international community is bracing for what comes next. News of the US-Israeli strikes has sent shockwaves worldwide. World leaders and the UN Secretary-General are urging restraint, warning of catastrophic consequences if the conflict widens. European allies call for renewed diplomacy, while Russia and China condemn the attacks as violations of international law. Many fear the conflict could draw in other nations, creating a web of alliances and enmities. The strikes on nuclear sites have sparked fears of radioactive contamination, but the IAEA reports no unusual radiation so far. Still, the political and military tensions remain dangerously high. Oil prices have surged, and global markets are volatile, reflecting fears of wider instability. The economic impact could ripple far beyond the Middle East. This crisis is a stark reminder of how interconnected the world has become. Regional instability now threatens global security and prosperity. The world watches anxiously for the next move. The operation targeted Iran's heavily fortified underground nuclear facilities. The US deployed bunker-buster bombs, including the massive GBU-57, to penetrate deep defenses. This was reportedly the first combat use of the GBU-57, underscoring the mission's seriousness. Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from US Navy ships and submarines struck with high precision. The attack was a coordinated, multi-pronged assault designed to overwhelm Iranian defenses. Advanced intelligence and timing were crucial to the operation's success. The US-Israeli partnership demonstrated a high level of trust and military coordination. The message, no target is beyond reach, and the will to act is real. The operation showcased overwhelming military superiority. It was not just about destroying facilities, but about sending a global warning. The world has now seen the extent of US and Israeli resolve. The stakes have never been higher. At the heart of this crisis is deep mistrust over Iran's nuclear intentions. Iran claims its program is peaceful, but the US and Israel see a looming nuclear threat. Years of failed negotiations and sanctions led to this military strike as a last resort. US and Israeli officials argue the risk of a nuclear-armed Iran was too great to ignore. Iran has vowed retaliation, but its response remains uncertain. President Trump warns any Iranian attack will be met with overwhelming force. The world fears a dangerous cycle of escalation. Some hope the strikes might force Iran back to the negotiating table. Others fear it will only harden Iran's resolve. The international community is calling desperately for de-escalation. The coming days will determine whether leaders choose war or step back from the brink. The world holds its breath, waiting for what comes next.